Hello everyone, and now welcome to a 2v2 matchup. This game taking place here on Ironshire. We have FaiLo and e119 going up against, well, PhiLbOiS and MysT. Let's go ahead and break things down in this matchup. PhiLbOiS spotting as the red Night Elf player at what I will call this 6 o'clock position. Meanwhile, his partner MysT spotting as the red human. They are going to be going up against a dual undead team here. Blue opening up things with Crypt. Altar of Darkness seems a little bit delayed on this Altar of Darkness and also on this Crypt here. We'll see what comes of this, what the overall strategy is going to be. Was gold funneled to the other side early on? And that's one of the things that you got to look out for in 2v2 strategies, whether or not what gold is being pumped to a different partner to try and get some different strategies straight out of the gate. Hello, PJ, nom nom nom. All right. Little Pikachu wave. Thank you very much. As we're looking at, well, the hero of, well, undead hero for blue, one of them will be a Lich first. All right, so Lich first, and we may be looking at a Death Knight first coming in off of E119s, as that's a very strong, powerful combination straight out of the gate. We are looking for an Archmage coming in from human, and finally a Demon Hunter coming in from the Night Elf. Now, with dual undead opponents, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Immolation first, followed by Mana Burn, and perhaps even a retrain to get to level 3 Mana Burn to try and shut down the sheer amount of well, nukes that could be come across by those multiple heroes. Alright, Archer is still taking a little bit of damage here, purposely aggroing and now moving away, and this might be a problem. We need to see a Wisp move over. He's taking quite a bit of damage already, and if he doesn't, well, he may end up getting taken down. There's Immolation right now trying to finish off as many units as he can as quickly as possible. There takes down 2 quick gnolls. The Water Elemental, however, still not taking damage, not standing close enough there, as that did drain a good amount of mana. Coming back here, we are looking at the Archmage clearing out this Kobold creep camp. It looks as though a purge went down on the Water Elemental, perhaps. I'll have to take a look off to the north. Was there a purge opportunity? No, I don't see one. Maybe the Water Elemental did, in fact, just take that much damage, as we see the Water Elemental now staying at level 2, and the Peasants actually backing away, not going for an Expo. I would have thought perhaps the human player could have set up an expo in between these two locations while staying at tier 1 longer, but instead we're looking at the Night Elf already teching to tier 2. Back off to the north side here. Lich, dual Lich by both sides. So we are looking at Lich on both sides here. I'm not quite sure. Was that a Frost Nova on a sheep? That's what it looked like. I'm not quite sure what to say about that here, as that looks like to be a waste of mana, as the Archer now trying to get away quickly gonna, well, suffer an Icy Blast. Units still trying to retreat their way through, perhaps get a mana burn off on that Lich. However, that Lich doesn't have that much mana to begin with any longer. There it is, up to 50, and now, well, burned away just a little. During this time, though, Archmage is looking to grab some more experience, perhaps get to level 3. Undead, actually, the one teching or getting to the Expo first, as we are looking at no additional, well, text to tier 2. Alright, so no teching, teching both sides by the human and the Night Elf, not going for an Expo, and the Lich is going to be trying to charge on in here pretty aggressively. We can see some, well, peasants trying to, well, to finish off this blacksmith here, and a lot of peasants could end up getting taken down. Some more Frost Novas being placed down as well, as more Water Elementals need to be dropped. There's level 3 on the Archmage. Level 2 Water Elementals could do a large amount of damage, but it hasn't translated just quite yet. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter going after this mercenary camp in the southern position, allowing his partner to, well, fend for himself to buy a bit of time. Is the economic advantage going to take hold, or is it going to be the tech advantage of the red team? That is the question at hand now, as we are still looking at tier 1, well, finally starting the tech to tier 2 for one of these undead players. Meanwhile, in the center portion here, we're, well, an illusion Lich just absorbing quite a bit of damage. Low hit point ghouls now retreating back. Skeletal minions, skeletal minions should be staying in the fight. Not quite sure what exactly that skeletal minions retreating back for, as we're looking at another troll trapper about to get taken down. Archmage, level 2 water elementals, acolytes trying to finish off this, well, haunted gold, or footmen trying to finish off this haunted gold mine before the Archmage and the water elemental take it down. Not quite there. Acolytes are going to end up falling. Archmage may be forced to try and use a Scroll of Town Portal, as there's a large number of ghouls already in position. Archmage now down to 89 hit points. He's going to be forced to retreat. Footmen trying to get close enough. Are we going to see enough distance? Yes, we are. 3 units able to, well, Scroll of Town Portal away, as the Demon Hunter comes back on the other side and is now going after more Acolytes. All right, FaiLo is going to have some problems here, as, well, a large amount of Acolytes have been taken out. No economic advantage as of yet, as the Demon Hunter trying to go after this Nerubian tower. It's not going to end up falling, and we're going to see all of these units now back away. Rifleman out on the battlefield. Mountain King will be joining up as well. Archmage needs to clear out this little tree here, and then should be able to, well, come back from this backside location. We are getting up some Arcane Sanctums, so that tech to tier 2 now starting to play, as we are now perhaps going to be getting some Dryads or maybe some Druids of the Claw, and we do see a Panda come in from the Night Elf. All right. Dual level 3 Liches, tech to tier 2, still not started by one of the undead. The second undead has tech to tier 2, and it will be a little bit of time before we finally see a Death Knight out on this battlefield. Meanwhile, Night Elf still trying to clear out more of these creep camps, and with the amount of ghouls that the undead has been pumping out, getting Drunken Haze Breath of Fire would be extremely effective, but that window of opportunity is going to close quickly. If the Panda can get to level 2 fast enough, that will work out well. That Drunken Haze Breath of Fire really needs to get to level 3, but level 2 at the minimum, as we're looking at these Ogre Warriors not getting taken down. Meanwhile, Lich coming across here, very low hit point ghoul. Frost Nova joining in, and well, all of these quick kills there, as the ghouls are now going after the entangled gold mine. Archmage now coming over to try and defend here. Lich does have a Scroll of Town Portal. Archmage should be able to get some fireball damage off, and perhaps finish off some of those units. One ghoul now down. A second ghoul could get taken down. There is the Lich. Lich doesn't have enough mana to try and get in a little bit more damage on those wisps there, as it looks as the entangled gold mine will just survive. Archmage, Panda sitting at level 2, Brilliance Aura there. Mountain King having having an opportunity to clear out a couple of ghouls as well, as we're looking at the Lich off to the north here, perhaps trying to get to level 4. Now, Undead coming back across on the other side here. Only Arcane Towers, no Guard Towers to try and clean up these ghouls. The Lich is, well, regenerating quite a bit of hit points, as e119 is still, well, finishing off some more of these militia here. All right. Arcane Tower going to finish off this illusionary unit here. Meanwhile, the Lich is continuing to fire back, trying to finish off more units, as a couple of, well, skeletal minions should end up getting taken down, just trying to focus down some units, get some extra experience before they leave, as Human is setting up an expo now, finally. All right, tech to tier 2 about to be completed. Tech to tier 3 about to be completed for the undead. On the south side, Tree of Eternity already done. We only see, I believe, Dryads. Haven't seen a transition into Bears yet for frontline units. We are staying at tier 2 by the Human, perhaps going rifle casters, but those casters, with so much Frost Nova available to them, well, and targeting them, could have a bit of an uphill climb. We still don't, well, I take it back, dual slaughterhouses now for dual obsidian statues. Meanwhile, Halls of the Dead now teching to Black Citadel as well. The majority of the creep camps are now being cleared out here. A handful of orange creep camps left, trying to clear camps relatively close to home. It feels a little bit safer that way, as the Brewmaster picked up Rune Bracers. That will definitely help any focusing from those Frost Novas. Obsidian statues here to try and keep the undead army together. And here we are going into an engagement now. Demon Hunter perhaps going to try to dive on in as the undead now actually trapping themselves into a corner. But now we can see, well, engagement coming back across on the other side. Panda does have True Shot Aura. Could perhaps try to get a Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. The Ancient of Lore suffering quite a bit of damage. Needs to get some repairs as this undead army is actually a little bit out of position. All right, how's the engagement going to go? Both sides just fighting their way through. We're going to see some easy damage there. Nope. That skeletal minion could have easily been finished off as we're now looking at the Expo getting a little bit of pressure. All right, there's a Frost Nova, level 4 now on that Lich. Are we going to see some more dark rituals as well? Obsidian statues. Mountain King wants to finish off some of these obsidian statues in the back. Archmage could be in a little bit of trouble. Stormbolt going down. Rifleman finishing off all of those ghouls as the Destroyer now goes into the air. 2 Destroyers in the air, but there's plenty of Water Elementals and Riflemen here. Is that really what you wanted to try and go for the Destroyers as we are now looking at the Death Knight being forced to try and retreat back out. All right, trying to minimize those losses, but those Destroyers, that conversion, not necessarily what he was looking for. Water Elementals and Riflemen able to focus down those Destroyers while, or get some damage on those Destroyers. Yes, we saw some Devour magic, but the timing on that just seemed a bit suspicious there as the Death Knight now looks to retreat. Mountain King, Force Troll Trapper, quick bash right there. Mountain King gonna stay at level 2. And yeah, only 1, 2, 3 more creep camps left on the map that are really, or 4 more creep camps worth talking about. And, well, they're still gonna get cleared up here. Lich with plus 12 attack with those claws of attack 8 and 4. Meanwhile, Panda does sit at level 3 now with level 2 Breath of Fire, most likely does have Rune Bracers that could be given to the Archmage since he could be targeted with Death Coil, Frost Nova. Panda has a bit more hit points in the front line, and, well, we'll see how all of that works out here. Death Knight trying to retreat back here. He does have a Squirrel of Town Portal. Is he going to be able to escape? Yes, he is. Down to 60 hit points again. Meanwhile, Scout Tower, well, gonna be completed and now needs to get a little bit of repairs as well. More peasants need to be trained up as we are looking at, well, not that many, well, now plenty of guard towers being placed down to try and act as a bit of a deterrent. All right, Demon Hunter, there's a dark ritual there. Panda coming in across for the charge. Dryads are here. That is going to be a lot of, well, that's going to be a lot of anti-magic poison as we're looking at a Breath of Fire go down across these units there. There goes one Crypt Fiend. Panda continuing to fire it up here. Slow poison. There's a big roar. There goes another Crypt Fiend as well. And it's been constant battling by both sides engaging at off time. So while one blue army is trying to hit somewhere, the other is already engaging or being engaged. Now this could turn into a bit of a pincer play and be a problem as we now see this. Yes, e119 comes in from behind, catching these units in retreat. Demon Hunter in a lot of trouble. He's going to get taken down, and this is an absolute bloodbath for the Night Elf, losing 2 Druids of the Claw and a level 4 Demon Hunter already. Units are retreating back here. Riflemen in position to try and defend, but is this going to give too much momentum to the undead? Level 3 now on the Death Knight, but we don't see that many Obsidian statues, only 1 here with that many undead heroes. That mana is going to drain, oh sorry, 2. That mana is going to drain quickly as we're still looking at engagement here. There's plenty of Destroyers now, so those Water Elementals not having an easy time against all of those Destroyers as Ancient of War is also joining in on the battle here. Brewmaster needs to get some Moonwell juice going, trying to fight back. There's an Abomination getting stunned down. He actually ends up falling, which is going to give more experience as well. All right, these skeletal minions getting cleaned up here. Panda should trying to go Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire across all of these units, perhaps slow down a bit of that damage from all of those Crypt Fiends as we're looking at the Crypt Lord trying to back away, but he ends up getting a Death Coil to stay alive instead. Archmage getting up to level 4. There's another Breath of Fire trying to push in a little bit of damage. Death Knight falls at level 3 as this, well, battle is still raging on. Brewmaster having those Rune Bracers really keeping him alive. Now having a Potion of Healing as well. Gonna try and push a little bit farther as one Druid of the Claw falls in the front portion again. Alright, Ancient of War down to 28 hit points. Finally falls, giving level 2 to the Crypt Lord as this Panda has just been absorbing, well, all of those spells. Perhaps blue team does not realize that there is that rune bracers, and seeing a low hit point Panda just constantly take all of that damage is working out well, as the Panda now gets up to level 4. Alright, 1000 hit point Panda with rune bracers actually working out extremely well. He's been absorbing so much damage, but is his time finally coming to an end? Yes, it is. Dual level 5 Liches now with dual level 3 Frost Novas, able to perhaps punish that back line, but the Obsidian statues, as I mentioned earlier, are very low on mana, trying to top off that many undead heroes. Lich, or Druid of the Claw, now trying to retreat all the way back. There's Immolation trying to go after some of these Crypt Fiends, unable to really clean things up here, as a new Obsidian statue with a fresh mana pool now in position here. Alright, trying to heal everything, trying to provide mana for everything, as the Liches are still inching their way forward. A little bit of damage. Low hit point Druid of the Claw. One more shot is all that is needed, as we're looking at, well, overkill there just a bit. Alright, Goblin Shredder also taking quite a bit of damage. Units are still dancing back and forth. Abomination could push its way through. Alright, Undead looking extremely strong right there. Dual level 5 Liches. Death Knight now back out on the field at level 2. Should be able to get in some Death Coils and heal up those units. Panda getting resurrected. Panda did as good of a job as he could, absorbing much of the Frost Nova spell focusing before finally succumbing to those wounds, even with Rune Bracers offering a bit of damage mitigation. Now, how is this going to go down now? These Liches, dealing quite a bit of damage. They're trying to retreat back. North side sitting on 50 over 70. This side sitting at 68 over 70 here. Perhaps just trying to get as much gold out of this gold mine before breaking into low upkeep. Human off on the other side now, going finally into castle. We can see that there are plenty of guard towers here, but no masonry upgrades, so these guard towers could end up falling rather quick. We are still training up more riflemen as well, so with more riflemen, obviously those destroyers are not going to be able to do much, but there are so many Crypt Fiends out here on the battlefield that we need to see a transition into knights. Otherwise, the Crypt Fiends are going to be able to, just out-heal and outlast the opponents, especially with so many abominations out here on the battlefield. There goes an Impale. Mountain King caught out in open field. Rifleman going to try and retreat. Are we going to see an Impale and Frost Nova? No, we are not. Coming back around. Breath of Fire trying to finish off an Acolyte. Knight of trying to set up an expo of his own, expanding towards his opponent. There are a couple of Druids of the Claw out here on the battlefield as well, as we're looking at 45 over 60 supply, still in no upkeep, while e119 now finally going into that low upkeep barrier, and perhaps going to try and do a bit of a push. Alright, a little bit of a split prong attack. The Expo on the bottom left now cleaned up. Meanwhile, the Abomination's able to finish there, as we're going to be looking at, a lot of damage. Abomination Death Coil does heal up just a little bit. There is no Orb of Fire. Archmage actually with Orb of Venom, so that's going to be a little bit of damage over time. There's another Death Coil. Orb of Fire may actually work out a bit better in this spot, as we're looking at the Destroyers, Devouring Magic, able to get in those, or absorb much of those Water Elementals. That's going to continue to give more experience here, as the Mountain King sitting at level 4 with a Potion of Invulnerability, able to stay in this front line spot. Perhaps are we going to see another Abomination get taken down? Yes, we are. Mountain King now in the backfield here, trying to go after the Death Knight. Death Knight does have a Potion of Greater Healing. Mountain King, that's a Holy Light. Mountain King trying to get in front of that Lich. Lich uses a potion right there. Death Knight now trying to stay alive. There's another Stormbolt. The Lich is going to... The Death Knight does have a Scroll of Town Portal. There's a Sleep, and the Death Knight falls at level 3. Coming back around the other side, Panda trying to finish off some more of these units. There's another mana burn here, and this is two 1v1 fights going on at the same time, as the Death Knight still perhaps trying to go after that Crypt Lord. Crypt Lord does end up getting taken down, and a bloody mess by the Undead, as they're forced to retreat home, with their tail between their legs. taking quite a bit of damage there. 47 over 70 supply, now 74 over 90, going up against 45 over 60 and 64 over 78. The human Night Elf team not out of the woods just quite yet. They won a battle, but they haven't won the war, especially now with the undead looking to establish up their second expo. All right. Lich, Undead, both sides trying to get into proper position. Riflemen do have 2-0 upgrades. That is extremely helpful. Sorry for the flickering on the overlay. That is not my doing. I cannot control it. Anyways, Archmage, Mountain King, Archmage holding on to the Orb of Venom instead of getting an Orb of Fire. Interesting call there. As Orb of Venom does really do damage over time, but we've seen the Death Coils constantly heal Abominations and other high priority targets. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter here does have an Orb of Venom. Panda does not have an Orb of Venom. Could have a little bit of additional damage over time, as the Roar of the Druids of the Claw could come back as a liability with so many destroyers in the air being able to devour magic and heal up, while then being able to deal bonus damage to deal bonus splash damage. All right. Coming back across here, dual spirit towers are going to get cleaned up here. Big breath of fire, but this is a very, very narrow choke point to fight. Where is the battle going to unfold? There it is, off to the north, and here we are. There's only a, well, we are looking at perhaps a Drunken Haze breath of fire across all of those tightly grouped units. Archmage trying to engage here. Water Elementals. There goes, I believe, the Mountain King. Yeah, Mountain King falls at level 4. Paladin already in trouble. He's trying to get away, and he's able to get away at 13 hit points. Meanwhile, both sides are fighting their way through. Druids of the Claw be in trouble. Scroll of Town Portal now by the Demon Hunter, gonna be leaving the human by himself, as we see more units trying to retreat back. Paladin trying to stay just a little bit outside of that range here, and a lot of low hit point Crypt Fiends able to stick around in that fight. 53 over 60 supply, 66 over 78, going up against 43 over 70 and 84 over 100. Well, FaiLo actually going into high upkeep. That is a bit of a danger here, going into high upkeep, as FaiLo currently is mining off of, well, will soon be only mining off of one base. The expo is already nearly done. Human has, what is that, about 4.5 minutes left of mining off of this expo before it's going to be done here. And, well, we may be getting into a position of what you see is what you get. All right, there is a little bit of damage. There's a mana burn right there. Our unit's going to get caught out of position trying to engage. There's some more Devour magic by those destroyers, able to devour all of that roar pretty easily. We need to start seeing some Staff of Sanctuaries and Staff of Preservations being used, as the Demon Hunter gets one there. A beautiful impale across the entire left side, as Water Elemental is getting quickly cleaned up, giving level 6 now to the Lich. Level 6 Lich could turn into level 3 Dark Rituals, which could turn into just plentiful amounts of mana. Dreadlord out here on the battlefield, still somehow staying alive. This Lich off to the north, trying to retreat away from the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is playing the game of chase, but if he doesn't get that kill, it doesn't translate to much. Demon Hunter now sitting at level 5, as we're looking at a little bit of battling going on. Death Knight unable to get a Death Coil here. Lich about to get the Death Coil once more, and here he is able to stay alive. Demon Hunter now has gone a little bit too far, trying to frost or mana burn back on the other side, takes a Frost Nova for all of his efforts, and falls at level 5. Right, Tree of Eternity now making his way across out on the battlefield. There is a lot of inner fire out here on the battlefield as well, in addition to Roar, as the Demon Hunter quickly gets resurrected at the tavern to stay in this battle. Druid of the Claw gets Staff of Preservation staved. Death Knight falls at level 3, as the Tree of Eternity should actually be joining in on the fight here, perhaps trying to get in some damage. Alright, level 6 now on the Archmage. Level 6 Archmage, are we going to be going for Mass Teleport or level 3 Brilliance Aura? Not quite sure, as there is still sleep available here. Tree of Eternity continuing the fight. More Breath of Fire blowing over. Cryptlord falls at level 3, as Frost Novas are still going heavily down onto those Druids of the Claw. Both sides fighting quite a bit of damage. However, Lich gets a Death Coil for the save here, and I'm going to say this again, Orb of Fire over the Orb of Venom, especially when you're going up against undead with dual Death Knights, as the Demon Hunter now back out here on the battlefield again. All right, are we going to see another fire, well, Orb of Venom damage there. Finish off another Crypt Fiend. And yes, Orb of Venom is incredibly helpful with damage over time, but if you are going to use that Orb of Venom strategy, there needs to be more than one ranged hero with Orb of Venom. You want that damage to slowly tick away here as we're looking at some Staff of Sanctuaries being used. Demon Hunter trying to test the waters there. There's a big Breath of Fire. Acolytes taking quite a bit of damage here as this Haunted Gold Mine could end up getting taken down. There's another Frost Nova on the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter going to turn back around, try and fight as we see death and decay across all of these units here, unable to stay inside that range as the Archmage able to back away just a little bit. Both sides still fighting their way through. More death and decay. Perhaps that Tree of Eternity is, yes, doesn't realize that he's taking full percentage damage. That Tree of Eternity could get taken out if he doesn't walk away from that spot, able to finally get away there, or the channeling finally done. Both sides still fighting here. There goes a Lich. Lich down to 16 hit points. He gets taken down. Demon Hunter falls for, I think, the 5th time in 3 minutes as he's constantly been resurrected. Panda now getting a big Breath of Fire across multiple units as a Crypt Fiend does end up getting taken down. Panda continuing to perhaps try and stay alive here. Tree of Eternity take too much damage from that Death and Decay earlier, as we saw as the Archmage is still trying to test the waters here. He has level 2 Brilliance Aura. I think level 3 Brilliance Aura would have been the safer call as the Paladin does not have enough mana. There's invulnerability from a sleep as the Archmage tries to get away. Panda comes across, able to stop the Death Knight, and it looks like the Panda or the Paladin could be in trouble here. Are we going to see a Holy Light onto the Archmage to save? No, there is the Staff of Sanctuary. No Holy Light. Disease Cloud still draining a bit of the healing on that there as the Panda going to end up falling. The Rune Bracers, well, unable to protect against Death Coil, Frost Nova in repeated fashion. All right, I did not expect Disease Cloud to be as helpful in that situation, or not, Death and Decay to be that helpful by that Lich, but he cast it on the Tree of Eternity, and that Tree of Eternity, well, just suffered so much damage in that fight and was finally taken out. We're looking at, well, only 12 more seconds of mining for human, and what we're going to see is what you see is what you get. Archmage needs to figure out what the long-term strategy is going to be. Mass Teleport could be extremely useful, but having mana on the Mountain King, the Paladin, may have been in the best interest of the red team here. We may not even see a Mass Teleport at all, as we're looking at a little bit of, well, damage over time now. All right, are we going to be looking at an engagement here? Water Elementals, there's a little bit more Devour Magic, able to, well, get in some bonus damage, perhaps finish off another as the Destroyers now look to back away again. New Obsidian statues joining on over. Lich now looking at those Acolytes as though they're mana pots, able to sacrifice them as he's already up to 630 maximum mana. I don't believe these Liches will run out of mana anytime soon, as, well, Priest and Rifleman are just going to constantly get blasted in the back portion of the battlefield. Panda looking to get resurrected here, going in for a final holdout by the red team. Meanwhile, blue team still mining off of 2 gold mines, and I think we can see the writing on the wall. Undead has a massive advantage here, short of a complete meltdown by Night Elf, or a sort of a complete meltdown by the Undead, or perhaps, oh, there's a Mass Teleport. Where'd they travel off to? All right, trying to regroup here. Panda's going to get back out here on the battlefield. And then perhaps one more unit? And then the Demon Hunter, yeah. This is going to take a long time to resurrect everyone. The old-fashioned way. A lot of peasants just, well, gathering lumber because there's nothing else that they can do. And Undead must just realize, you know what? We have the economic advantage. We're just going to continue to build. We don't need to force an unfavorable fight. We can fight and choose to fight on our own terms. All right. At this point, it's just going to kind of delay the inevitable here, as Human and Night Elf falling further and further behind just by sticking around in this game. caught in a difficult situation, not sure how to proceed. All right, there goes another militia. Are we going to accidentally give any additional levels to the undead heroes? No, we are not, but that dual level 6 Lich still acting as a nasty, nasty combination here. All right, more militia getting cleaned up. All right, there's a little bit more damage. I guess this is what you can call a long landing for a game. The climax and the major battles having taken place about 5 minutes ago. Those deciding battles. Now, well, Undead purposely just, well, fighting in a way where he knows that he cannot accidentally lose this game. Just continue to get more gold, build up stronger, while my opponent cannot get any additional gold whatsoever, and win in a calculating manner. All right, Lich back across here, just getting some big Frost Novas. Now looking to back away, perhaps can fight its way through. Are we going to see some more Frost Novas go down onto those militia? And there goes another Frost Nova there, taking down more of those peasants. Mountain King in that frontline spot. Demon Hunter in the front line here. There's a Mana Burn. Stormbolt trying to finish off any of the heroes. Trying to go after one hero at a time. Well, Crypt Lord down. One hero down. 5 more to go as the Undead now trying to back away here. Both sides fighting their way through. More Frost Nova going down onto the Paladin. Paladin somehow able to survive. Death Knight escapes at 32 hit points. Able to retreat all the way to the back as the Abominations are now charging in onto those riflemen. Potion, or I believe that got a death coil from a friendly Death Knight. Both sides retreating back here. Demon Hunter trying to fall back as we see multiple heroes. Paladin falls at level 3, and that is the game. Undead able to outlast and just continue to mine there. That Death and Decay taking down a lot of the hit points on that Tree of Eternity. I don't know if it was on purpose, but in this small zone that they were trying to defend, having such a large swath of an area which you couldn't have your own units stand around meant that, well, if they can't stand the fight, they're constantly moving, and if they're constantly moving, they're not dealing damage. And that seemed to be the tipping point in this matchup here. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.